Welcome to Weekday Somatics. So we'll begin today with a few movement explorations. If you are able to sit upright and feel well supported so that you can explore this non-strenuously, then that would be excellent. If you're unable to sit upright without that being strenuous, then you may do this lying down on the back. Or you may just simply imagine. Or you may simply just be present and receptive to the subtler qualities of the exploration if movement isn't appropriate for you today. And that's actually a more advanced practice, so good for you. So let's just take a moment to really be in this posture, to find the support and the stability so that you can surrender all of the unnecessary effort. And as you're doing so, one very powerful thing that you can do, and in fact, it's so powerful that I will give a warning, is gently bring your attention to your breath and allow the breath to become very natural and uncontrolled. And even though it's uncontrolled, notice that it is responsive, the breath is responsive to your attention, as well as your intention. So the attention is with the breath, and the intention is to allow for the exhalation to be as complete as possible without any force. So explore allowing for the out breath to continue. You'll find that it actually can continue more than you are accustomed to without any force. Now, at first, that will not be obvious. What will happen is that you will become aware of the habits of force. So all of us have habits of tension in the abdomen and in the entire torso, so that we are actually chronically experiencing muscle spasms, but we usually are not aware of it as such until we begin to allow for the out breath to naturally elongate without any force whatsoever. And we will start to become aware of the muscle spasms. And so here's where the warning comes. Do not overreach with this. Do not think that more is better. So the breath must remain relaxed, gentle, and satisfying. If you find that it becomes strenuous, or that you're gasping for air, or if the spasms are too much for you to simply be present to without reacting, then that means you're overreaching, you're pushing too much. So the face should remain relaxed. The tongue should remain relaxed. The shoulders should remain relaxed. And just allow for the out breath to gently elongate without any force and without any suddenness in the turning of the breath. So allow it to be very smooth, a continuous flow. This is a very, actually, it's a very advanced practice. Like so many practices that are hidden in plain sight, we overlook them and dismiss them, trivialize them because they're so commonplace, perhaps. But in reality, we don't need anything more complex than this. This is plenty complex already. It's a lot to be aware of. So be very gentle. Don't think that you need to do it right, or that you could even know what the right way is. Just be gentle in your exploration. It's a discovery. You might say to yourself, hey, I thought we were going to start with some movements. Well, this is a movement. So let's just be present to this experience for a few more moments. Let the face be soft. Let the tongue be soft. Notice the habits of using parts of the body that are unnecessary for the activity. So we don't need to squeeze the face to breathe. Don't need to wiggle the tongue around to breathe. Now, for anybody who wishes, we will explore another movement. If it's not appropriate for you today, then you need not do it. For those who wish to do so, we will slowly turn the head to the right and see that it's possible to do this without altering the breath. So let the breath continue to be gentle and natural, uncontrolled, as you slowly turn the head to the right, keeping the torso and the shoulders restful, letting the face and the tongue be restful. So this is a lot to be aware of. Take your time with it, and when you get to the furthest point to the right that is comfortable for you to turn the head, then pause. Release even more deeply in the face and in the tongue. Let the breath continue to flow gently. And then slowly turn the head back to center. Remaining aware of the shoulders, the face, the tongue, and the breath. When you're again at center, then pause. Again, release everything even more deeply. Let the breath continue to flow uninterrupted, uncontrolled, gently, just with awareness. And then slowly turn the head to the left, letting everything remain restful so that you can be really clear on this one movement, just the turning of the head, letting the shoulders remain relaxed, letting the torso remain relaxed, letting the jaw relax and the tongue relax, letting the cheeks be relaxed. Don't strain, let it all be very gentle, just within your range of comfort for the movement, and then slowly return to center. So let's do this a couple more times, slowly turning the head side to side, pausing in the center as well as at the end of range at the sides, at your own pace, so that you can remain aware of the breath, letting the breath continue to be natural, uncontrolled, not tied to the movement, not holding the breath, letting the cheeks be soft, letting the jaw be soft. Let the chest be soft. Let the throat be soft. And when you are next returning to center, then just rest here for a moment and allow the head to naturally come in an alignment over the spine. So don't try and find it. Don't force anything. Don't think about it. Just allow for a release of the unnecessary strain. Let the tongue and the throat and the jaw and the cheeks and the forehead all be soft. And as you do, notice that inner light radiating through all of the inner body, all the way through to the skin and shining through the skin, a soft glow. Feel that radiance as it actually provides buoyancy so that you can begin to feel yourself supported by this light, a light radiating from within. Remember to take responsibility for your own experience. So you have some tools available to you to moderate the intensity of the experience. If you find at any point that there's any discomfort, gently increase the in breath just a little tiny bit. Now, for those who are wishing to do so, we will slowly turn the head to the right. And then bring the right fingers behind the left ear, at the lower part of the ear, behind the earlobe, where the skull and the ear and the jaw are all in close quarters. We tend to hold a lot here. So we're going to, first of all, just place the fingers so you can feel the tissue state. Notice what it feels like. Does it feel clear and smooth and supple and lengthened, pleasurable? Or is there some degree of lumpiness and bumpiness and maybe some discomfort, strain, numbness? Let's just notice whatever you notice. And then keeping the fingertips there on that area where you're feeling. Slowly turn the head a little bit back towards center. Not going to be able to turn it all the way, just a little bit. And then again, turn the head to the right and let this all release and lengthen and soften as you do so. All the way down the side of the neck, into the shoulder, the collarbone, actually all the way around to the breastbone, to the little indentation right at the base of the throat. Just do that a couple more times at your own pace, slowly turning the head a little bit back towards center, and then again to the right, letting it all lengthen and soften. Let the jaw soften and the tongue soften. Let the forehead soften. When done with awareness, you will feel a very clear release. There will be a very definite shift in what you're perceiving under your fingers, as well as your inner perception of the experience. Slowly release the fingers, the hand, and turn the head to center. And as you do so, be aware of maintaining that same spaciousness and length and suppleness in your inner experience. And then let's turn the head to the left. And bring the left fingers behind the right ear. Just notice what you feel, what you sense there, both externally and inwardly. Let the breath continue to be gentle. Don't strain at any point. If it becomes strenuous, then ease up or just release the arm and the hand and the head if you need to do so. Now let's slowly turn the head a little bit back towards center, and then again, turn the head to the left. So we're keeping the fingers behind the ear on the skull, letting that tissue lengthen and soften. Let's do that a couple more times, slowly turning the head to center in that direction, and then again to the left. And really expand gently your awareness to include that entire side of the neck, head, throat, so that you can become aware of just how much of an effect it has on your entire physiology and your experience and perception when you hold things in this area. And slowly release the hand and turn the head back to center, maintaining that same spaciousness so that you don't go right back to your old habits. As you bring the head back to center, be aware of what is changing. So things have to adapt now in order to accommodate this new spaciousness or this restored spaciousness. So the abdomen, if you're really attentive, you will notice that there is a release somewhere in the abdomen, in the chest, in order to support this new alignment, this more correct alignment. And you'll notice also that the breath changes. So don't breathe mechanically, breathe spontaneously with awareness. And feel that spaciousness descending all the way from the head down the neck and throat and chest and upper back and shoulders and all the way down to the abdomen and the lower back, all the way down to the pelvis. And allow the natural breath to gently occupy that spaciousness so that you're not holding back. Don't force anything, just be open to the breath, the natural, uncontrolled breath opening up. To effortlessly and pleasurably occupy that space. And for a few moments, we are going to, or I will suggest to you that we can silently repeat to ourselves a phrase. And if it's comfortable for you to do so, you can coordinate it with the breath. If you're already experiencing enough intensity and you don't desire any more intensity, then I suggest you do not coordinate it with the breath. And in fact, perhaps don't even recite the phrase silently to yourself. Rather, just remain with the experience that's adequate for you now. But for those who wish to explore this, the phrase is that I am. And to coordinate it with the breath on the inhalation, again, this is a natural, uncontrolled breath. So as the inhalation occurs, you silently can say within your own self that. And as the exhalation occurs, you can silently repeat, I am. And do that. We'll do that together for a short time. So on the inhalation, the natural inhalation, that, and on the natural exhalation, I am. And as you do so, there naturally will be some silence, especially as the breath becomes gentle and slows down. So enjoy that silence, the silence of that. I am. Now, for those who wish to add in a little bit more to be aware of, which can further enhance the experience, this is only for those who are wishing to do so. Otherwise, you can disregard this. You may also be aware of the tongue and deeply relax the tongue. Be aware of the habits of subtle movements of the tongue when thinking the phrase, and consciously release and relax the tongue so that it makes fewer of those unnecessary movements. This will result in a very pleasurable experience. Now let's begin to expand our awareness to include the top of our head, back of our head, the forehead, the ears, the chin, the throat, the shoulders, the arms and hands, the chest, the upper back, the abdomen, the lower back, the upper legs, the lower legs, and the feet. And sense the support underneath you. Become aware of that contact. Become aware of that support as a real thing. Become aware of the ground, the earth underneath you. Become aware of the earth all the way to the core, and that you are connected to that. Become aware of the room you are in. Become aware of the air. Allow that inner light to radiate and bless your inner body, your organs, your muscles, your bones, your circulatory system, your lymphatic system, your skin, your hair, your fingernails and toenails. Let that light radiate into the room where you are to bless the room. Consciously bless your loved ones, your neighbors, Bless all the people whose work supports you. People who produce the food, people who transport the food, the people who store the food, the people who work to produce and maintain the technology that makes this meeting possible. People who process your waste, send blessings to all people everywhere, to all beings everywhere, recognizing that truly we are one and the support is everywhere. Slowly begin to move your fingers to reacquaint yourself with moving your body. Notice your breathing. Let the breath be relaxed and pleasurable. And in a moment, if you're ready to do so, then you may begin to slowly open the eyes. Take your time. There's no rush. So if you're not ready to open the eyes, then don't open them yet. And whenever you are ready to open the eyes, do so without disturbing this inner transformation, this inner clarity. Trust and know that this inner transformation and inner clarity is real, it is true. Remain true to this inner transformation, this inner clarity, and you will inevitably see it in your outer experience. So it's up to you to recognize this inner transformation, this inner spaciousness, this inner release, this inner surrender, this inner trust, this inner light, this inner safety, this inner peace, and to remain true to it. Don't let what happens in your external world control your inner experience. Let the inner experience shine into the outer experience. So when you are ready, at your own pace, slowly begin to open the eyes and see that you can do this while remaining true to this inner light, inner lightness, inner brightness, inner truth, inner stability, inner spaciousness. So momentarily, I'll be ending the recording of the formal inquiry. For those who are here live, we'll stay on for the Q&A. But for those who are not here live, I want to remind you that these inquiries are very deep. They produce a very powerful change. If you're very sensitive, you already know that. You've noticed it. Many of us are not so sensitive in that way. And so we may overlook just how powerful the inquiry is, and we may not recognize or make the connections between the effects that spill over into our external world. So it's very important to know that the effects will spill over into your external world, and you will be wise to be looking for them. You will perceive some of them as very good. It'll be easy to accept those because you will find that in some ways you will have an easier time. Things will be smoother in some ways. In some ways, you will have an easier time with natural positivity, natural ease, flow. Miraculous things can occur. Coincidences that are sometimes so over the top that they call to your attention. So many positive things can occur. There are also things that can occur that we don't so readily recognize as positive. And so it's particularly important to be aware of those and to know that whatever happens is for the greatest good of all, including you. So no harm can come to you. But you are in the habit of, as we all are, of projecting negativity and harmfulness into our external world. And so you may have experiences that you will project negative views onto. Things may fall away. Those things that fall away are the things that actually are not for your greatest good. But if you're in the habit of clinging to them and perceiving that you are dependent upon them, then that can be challenging. Also, your outer world will change to come into alignment with your inner reality, which is changing through these explorations. And so all of your outer world will change. Your relationships with others will change. Your relationship with yourself will change. Your relationship with your thoughts and your imagination and your memories and so forth will change. So be aware of that. And if you notice any irritation or frustration or fear or anxiety or worry or sadness, then know that ultimately it is for the greatest good of everyone. It is a release. It is a return to wholeness. It is the seeing through of the false and a recognition of the true support and clarity and abundance that is already true. But in order to discover that, we have to surrender what is an obstacle to that full embrace. So just be very gentle and take very good care of yourself. Know that anything that occurs can be met with awareness and trust that this inner change is a good change, is a change of coming into alignment with unconditional peace, unconditional freedom, unconditional love. And the transition sometimes is a little bit not as smooth as we hope for. So uh, these inquiries are designed to be very, very gentle and to produce the smoothest experience possible. But there's no one size fits all approach. So if you notice any irritation, be extra gentle. If you have the luxury to take a short nap, that can be very helpful. Also, just keeping your awareness gently with the natural breath can be very helpful. It will help the rough patches to be smoother and for you to more quickly discover the gifts in them. So just keep having trust in that. I give you my word. I promise that that is true, that goodness is unfolding. Just keep knowing that that is true and keep utilizing the tools that you have available to you to receive that support. I do not suggest that if you already experience intensity, that I do not suggest that you do any more of these inquiries than you already are doing. And in fact, I would recommend in those cases that perhaps you do a little bit less so that you can allow your experience to be smoother and allow for these changes to integrate in a smoother fashion. There's really no benefit to be had in making it rough. Let it be smooth and it will be a more positive experience. And as always, if anybody needs support, know that you're not alone. You can reach out. You can send me an email if you need anything. It's joeylott@gmail.com. Okay, thank you. I'm going to end the recording of the formal inquiry now.